So good morning, everyone present here, and I again extend my warmest welcome to you all in the fifth day of this lecture series come Faculty Development Program 1.0. So today we have with us Professor Rajesh K. Tiwari, sir, and on behalf of organizing committee, I feel immense pleasure to introduce Professor Tiwari as an expert of today's session. So he would share or he would shed a light on actually predatory publishing, which is a really debatable topic nowadays in today's era of competition in publications. So many of the publishers are basically taking this opportunity as a benefit and and doing a business type of things here. So Professor Tiwari would be talking about all such things during his talk. Professor Dr. Rajesh Tiwari is currently working as a professor and dean academics at MIT University Uttar Pradesh Lucknow campus. He has over 26 years of teaching and research experience in the field of biosciences and biotechnology. He had acquired PhD from Central Institute of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants, CMAP, CSIR lab, Lucknow, and was involved in a research program of horticulture crops at Central University of Subtropical Horticulture, ICAR, Lucknow. He had worked with the Chinese Academy of Science for postdoctoral program on plant transgenic development, especially on recalcitrant Chinese medicinal plants. Professor Tiwari was also selected by Volcani Center, Israel, for Masav International Young Scientist Program. His research and teaching interest are genetic transformation of medicinal and aromatic plants as well as other horticulture crops. Professor Tiwari has 42 research papers, 13 book chapters, and several popular articles to his credit, and is reviewer of several national and international scientific journals. He has authored one book, developed 6 patents, and completed 3 research projects so far. So far, 6 students had completed PhD work under his supervision, and 7 PhD students are working under his guidance at present. Professor Rajesh Tiwari, sir, is instrumental in developing academic curriculum of biotechnology and shaping up well-equipped biotechnology laboratories at MIT Institute of Biotechnology, Lucknow. In recognition of his contribution to research and academics, he has been offered position of affiliate research professor at University of Louisiana at Lafayette, USA. He has also been discharging the responsibility of Dean Academics and Director Outcome and actively involved in international accreditation with vast senior colleges and university USA and quality assurance agency UK. Besides academic and professional accomplishment, Professor Tiwari is an early riser. He believed that commune with the nature daily can help you overcoming from grief, sorrow, pain, or pleasure, ego, or arrogance, and can also easily manage success and failure, praise or insult, humiliation at any stage. So again, with these words, I welcome Professor Tiwari, sir. So please go ahead with his talk and enlighten us. Thank you, sir. Please welcome.
Very good morning to all of you. And thank you for such a nice introduction, Dr. Manish.
Thanks.
I also thankful to Dr. Mala Trivedi for organizing this beautiful FDP program. I also welcome all 102 participants in this session, and many more are yet to join. This particular session is dedicated to predatory publishing, which would be highly useful for the young researchers. And in this session, we will talk about, in a brief, about the journal publishing. We will also take up about the model of open access publishing, and majorly we will focus on the predatory publishing. Features of the predatory journals, we will discuss how to identify the predatory journals by using different tools. who actually publish in predatory journals when the practice is well known, that who are those who are publishing and what prompt them to publish it. We will discuss in our talk. And at the end, we will try to find out the right journals, the good journals as well. So before starting the main course, here I would like to throw some light on the journal publishing, the history of the journal publishing, which would set the right tone for the long discussion. So when I searched the net, I found a very interesting details that the first journal was published in 1665. And the name of the journal was Journal of Learned. It was published in French, the journal des Cavens. And the same times, another journal which was published by Royal Society of London. The name of the journal was the Philosophia Intersection. So these are the two oldest journals. But at present, after the advent of the internet and its penetration to the lowest strata of the society, you may see the surge. At present, as per the record, there are 38,000 journals are publishing by various publishing groups across the globe. So this is something which I wanted to sensitize you that the publishing is not a new thing. It is not the thing of 10 years or 20 years history. It is, started in 1665. Now, Directory of Open Access Journals index around 13,000 journals, plus these journals are listed from 130 countries. Almost all the countries are participating in research and publication. And they are indexed with the Directory of Open Access Journal, which is the biggest directory of the journals. So on the basis of the journals listed with the open directory, the journals classification can be done. And broadly, the journal can be classified in 4 or 5 categories. I'm not taking it as, all the technical nuances here. The purpose of this slide is just to sensitize you and to navigate you towards the main topic. So journals may be a print journals, which are available in the library in the print form. It is online journals, which are nowadays a common practice. Everyone can access those journals on internet through different websites and platforms. It may be hybrid journals as well. So print copy may also be available and the online version is also available. So we are now normally practicing all these things and we are using it. There's nothing new in it. Then there is a new term. You may not be very clear on it. I will try to throw some light on it. The open access journals and pay-per-view access journals. So what is the open access journal? Because information about the open access journal would be important to understand the predatory publishing in detail. The open access journals are the scholarly journals that provide unrestricted access to the article, allowing anyone to read, download, copy, distribute, or reuse the content without any financial or legal barriers. In a nutshell, if I would say, these journals offers the access of the article with no paywall. So without paying anything, you can download and read. So this is the basic theme of the access journal, this open access journals. The main characteristics of the open access journal is that the articles are freely available, as I mentioned, and that is just to promote the widespread dissemination of the knowledge. So these are the open access journal, and at the same time, there is one more model, which is, rely on the pay-per-view access, wherein you have to pay something to view the content. Another classification, very broad classification about the journals and publishing is that the journals may be academic or scholarly journals. It may be a trade journal. It may be a science magazine. It may be a business journal, wherein the business models are, published, and these type of journals are, published by the various business houses. There are popular magazines which were published by the various universities and research organizations just to make visibility to the work, and the basic aim of these popular magazines are the transfer of the technology to the mass people or the laymen. Say, for example, one very important that popular magazine is the Kisan Harti, Farmer Digest of Pantnagar University, which is very, very popular amongst the farmers of that particular area, the Tarai belt area. So they used to, learn read this magazine on the daily basis, because in that Farmer Digest, Farmer magazine, all the technology that were developed in the Pantnagar University, agriculture technologies are, mentioned in a very simple manner so that they can understand and practice it. Now there are review journals, those who publish only review articles, and the journals may be, some journals may not be a review journal, they may publish the articles which were based on the bench one. So that way we can classify everything, but here our focus is on that open access journal, because this is the model which is utilized and manipulated to create a monster. And now let us understand the model, financial model of the open access journals, because a lot of finance is required to support the publishing activities. So these journals operates on different models of financial for the financial supports of their activity. They raise fund through APC charges from the author. They may also raise fund through the subscription model. And there is one more category known as the bronze category, wherein the open access journal neither charge the APC nor the subscription charges. They only get the funds from the sponsors from different companies. So there are different models that are operates. But one thing is common in all these models, that they follow the very rigorous stringent peer review process. And that is the mandatory step for the acceptance of the publication. So the peer review is the keyword here. Journal may be paid, may not be paid, but peer review is the most important and rigorous step in case of open access journals. Now, what had happened? What leads to this, predatory publishing? What is this predatory publishing? So if you see that the open access model was manipulated in such a way to make it a profit making by some of the journalists. And they have also exploited the perish to publish or perish syndrome of the author to make the publishing industry a profit making industry. So as per the Committee of Publication Ethics, I would explain what is this committee. The predatory publishing refers to as the exploitative practices of certain publishers or the journals that prioritize profit over academic integrity without providing adequate peer review process or the editorial services they used to publish, by compromising the quality integrity of academic researchers. These predatory publishers often engage in deceptive practices as well, targeting researchers who are eager to publish, as I told you, the publish or perish syndrome. Their work, but may not be aware that they may not be aware with the credibility of issues associated with these publishers. So I also I have just searched internet and find out a very appropriate term for the predatory journals, and I found this Shikari Patrikaएं is the most relevant term and most appropriate term to define all the characteristics of the predatory journals. Because what they do, they put a trap, then they trap you and they exploit you by using all the unethical practices. Just like a shikari or a predator, which put a trap to get its food in the forest. So to understand the predatory publishing, you must create a picture of shikari in your mind. Then you would be able to understand all the nuances of the predatory publishing. Now, here some background of the predatory publishing. The term predatory journals were coined for the first time by Jeffrey Bell, an academic librarian of the University of Colorado in year 2010. The Bell defines predatory publishers and the journals as those that exploit the open access publishing model, as I told you. for the financial gain, for making profits. So Jeffrey Bell created and maintained a well-known blog known as Scholarly Open Access, where he exploited questionable practices of certain open access journals and publishers. He has published a list known as the Black List. I will discuss the fate of the blacklist in my subsequent slides. So here are some, key characteristics of the predatory journals that concern related to predatory publishing. And when you analyze each and every practices, you would be able to get some idea about this kind of unethical practices. So first is the lack of rigorous peer review process. This publisher often have a superficial or non-existent peer review process, or the peer review process is completely absent. I need not to explain the peer review process, as you all are experienced enough. And the previous in previous lectures, you must have gone through this peer review processes as well. So these predatory journals accept manuscript without proper evaluation, leading to the publication of low quality or even pseudo-scientific research can also be published. These undermine the credibility and reliability of the scientific literature. So first and foremost and most important thing is absence of the peer review process, a rigorous peer review process, I would say. Then predatory publishers primarily generate revenue through excessive article processing charges. There are processing charges, APC charges are a little higher than those who are the genuine journals. They often charge high fees for the publishing papers, irrespective of the quality or significance of the research. They have nothing to do with the significance of the research. They just look on how much you can pay for them, how can they exploit your publish or perish report. The researchers are sometimes deceived into paying these fees without receiving the expected editorial support or the visibility of that work. They just publish it and they forget it. Then some misleading or deceptive practices that they follow is predatory publishers employ various deceptive practices to attract the submission, such as sending unsolicited mail, spam mail, the bulk mail, or making false promises of rapid publication. They may intimate legitimate journals by using similar names or create websites that mimic reputable publisher platforms. These practices can mislead researchers and make it challenging to the distinguish between legitimate and predatory publishers. So these predatory publishers, they put a brain fog in your brain. You cannot make out the difference between actual journal and the misleading journals which were published by intimidating the legitimate journals. They completely lack the editorial integrity as well. These journals do not adhere to the ethical publishing practices. They may not follow copyright laws, fails to retract of the corrective articles when necessary. There is no mechanism of retraction is available. Not engage in ethical authorship practices. This lack of integrity compromise the accuracy, transparency, and accountability of these publishing houses. Then they often falsely claim indexing in the reputable databases or maintain matrices like impact factor or create an illusion of the legitimacy. They exploit researchers' desire for visibility and recognition, making it difficult for scholars to access the genuine impact and research in their respective field. They have no standards, no guidelines, there's no quality control processes in place. There is no transparent costing. You can negotiate with them. They frequently publish, sometimes monthly, sometimes quarterly, sometimes as per the requirement of, if they have got enough number of papers, they will publish because they have to make money. The Directory of Open Access Journal used the term questionable journals to these predatory publishing journals. And they also follow the aggressive marketing strategies. You may receive a number of mails to publish a paper as a corresponding author, and they will get your email address from some databases, and they keep on sending you emails for publishing in their journals. They'll give you a lot of lucrative offers as well. So these are some of the important key factors that if you keep it in mind, you can make out this journal, which journal is predatory and which are the good journals. Now, a few facts about the journals that I have come across. These predatory journals phenomena has been around last 10 years. It is not new. There were around 8,000 predatory journals reported, which published around 4,20,000 articles in last 10 years. And around 13% of known specialist journals are there, which are publishing 18.3% of all the specialized articles. So you can see the depth they have acquired so far just by making the lucrative offers. Now here in this statistics, this was taken from the study reporting in predatory journal group, one of the predatory journal group. As a sample of 1,907 papers in more than 200 supposed predatory journals, found that most of the articles were coming from the India. So we are again on top in this particular practice. Not only us, but if you see the developed countries like United States, Japan, Italy, UK, they have also are fairly contributing in publishing the predatory journals list. Just to give you some idea about the publishing worldwide. The important thing, in the first day with the lecture of Professor Mishra, they have mentioned, the first day with the lecture of one of the experts from the IT, they have, he has mentioned about the journals matrices. Now, just keeping in that lecture into mind, if you read this slide, you will get a difference. So usually predatory journals, they mention the fake journal matrices. For example, Advanced Scientific Index is not known for the scientific community. The Cosmos Impact Factor, Directory of Journal Quality Factors, Global Impact Factors, Index Copernicus, International Scientific Indexing, IS, Scientific Indexing Services, SIS, Universal Impact Factor. So nowadays, when we are checking that this thing, performance-based appraisal system, we found that the impact factor that are mentioned, the impact factor, those were mentioned, these are the fake impact factors. Say, for example, the global impact factor, it has no authenticity, no recognition at all. So usually these journals, they use all these fake matrices. So if you come across any of these matrices, you can make out that the journal's quality is not good. Other important striking feature of these journals, the name of the journals are close to the name of the genuine journals. You can make out the difference. They are imitating to the already established journals. The website is not designed professionally. There may be a grammatical mistake, the spelling mistake, or the details are not properly mentioned. They approach you through the bulk mail. They claim to be long-established journal, but when you go into the history, you will find that only few issues are published. They publish manuscript within a month of the receiving because they do not follow any process of peer review. So these are the main features through which you can make out the quality of a journal and abstain you from publishing in these journals. Now, how to identify these journals? This is a very, very tough job because you will not get a list anywhere, I think. I have searched the internet and various platform, but I didn't get any list. What I get is the standards, criteria, and the guidelines. So these are some of the scholarly organization, international scholarly organization. They have developed certain criteria and standards that publishers must meet. And once the publisher or the journals, they are registered with these international standards, they have to follow the guidelines, the criteria, and the standards that is international or scholarly organizations has established. I will take up few international scholarly organizations who has developed these guidelines and ideas. For the first and foremost and most important organization is COPE, the Committee for Publication Ethics. The Committee of the Publication Ethics is a non-profit organization. The COPE is a global organization with a membership of 120 countries. It was established in 1997 by a group of medical journal editors who were concerned about the ethical standards of peer review publications. The COPE provides advice, resources, and support of the publishers, editors, and the researchers on ethical issues in academic publishing. The COPE guidelines cover a range of issues, including plagiarism, data fabrication and falsification. In the second lecture, you have gone through this process. The conflict of interest, yes, yesterday you have listened this comprehensive lecture on it. The peer review process, which is very well known, all of us. So there are thousands of journals which are, registered with the COPE, and they are following the guidelines, stringent guidelines, standards, and various criteria of, quality publishing. Then another important journal directory is the Directory of Open Access Journal that we have already discussed. DOAJ aims to curate, maintain, and develop reliable information about open access journal on the web. You can search it. The Open Directory of Open Access Journals follows common publishing standards for online journals and digital posting. The responsibility of DOAJ includes it helps the libraries and the indexers to update their list on a regular basis. If there is any journal which follows their standards, they can be listed. It helps to increase the visibility, discoverability, and the dissemination of information related to an open access journal through this directory. It facilitates the integration of open access journal on a regular basis. So this is another important source of getting the quality publishers. Then another important is OSPA, Open Access Scholarly Published Association. It was formed in 2008. It represents a community of scholarly published committees to develop and disseminate the open access solutions and promote best integral academic practices. So OSPA has developed a set of membership criteria and standards that publishers must meet to become member of this organization. The criteria aims to ensure the transparency, ethical publishing practices, and high editorial standards. So those journals which follow this criteria and standard, they can get membership of this OSPA and ensure the quality practices publishing, which give the credibility to their journal. In general, all these scholarly organizations, they follow the standards and guidelines based on following focal points. Say, for example, they have the guidelines on the website development. They have the guidelines for the name of the journals. They have issued the standards for peer review processes, ownership and management, the governing body, the editorial team, and contact information must be mentioned in a proper manner. They have the standards for copyright and licensing. They have the guideline, well-defined guideline for processes for identifying and dealing with allegations, publication ethics. The authorship fees must be properly defined. Publication schedule must be given, and that has to be followed strictly. The access rules has to be defined. The archiving, the revenue sources, the advertising, and direct marketing. All the things has to be very well defined on the website, and that has to be in line with the guidelines or the standards and the criteria that has been laid out. So all this, whether it is COPE or WOM or OSPA or Open or DOAJ, they all developed checklists, various checklists, which on these following points. I have also downloaded the checklist and I have gone through these checklists. Each and every checklist is, developed on around 30 to 40 different parameters. And every journal has to follow these checklists to become the member of this organization so that the quality can be maintained in publishing. I can share the checklist here, but because of the time constraint, and it is also not required, you can download it or you can interact with me on the later stage. I will share with you. But all the checklists, they revolve around all these 16 different parameters. Now, I have also gone through some of the reporting guidelines in addition to what we have mentioned. Say, for example, the PRISMA, which is a preferred reporting items for systematic review and meta-analysis. There is CONSORT, Consolidated Standards for Reporting Trials. This is based on the trials standards issued for reporting trials. Then STOREWAY, then SQQR, SRQR, Standards for Reporting Qualitative Research, a synthesis of the recommendations. Then MOOS, Meta-Analysis of Observational Studies in Epidemiology. Then STAR, Standards for Reporting of Diagnostic Accurate Studies. So all these different guidelines, they are very, very important. And these guidelines were also taken into consideration while, making a list by the organization that we have mentioned, so that there is no unethical concern with the research standards, as well as there is no ethical concern with the publications as well, and that the quality has to be maintained for the public convenience. So stop publishing predatory journals, and these are the various indexing, standard indexing platforms, which were discussed by the earlier experts as well: Web of Science, Scopus, PubMed, DOAJ, Capwell, Journal Analysis, and UGC key average. So if the journals are listed in all these platforms, then you can say that they are following certain standards, certain guidelines, certain criteria, and their quality is better than those who are not indexed with these websites, web pages. Now, why UGC introduced consortium of academic research and ethics? Just because to stop these predatory practices. Because once the UGC has issued its list earlier, later on it was found that 88% journals in the UGC list, whitelist, was the predatory. Later on, the UGC has revised the list and issued another list under the UGC care, which is also in the questions, but it has been very well refined. And if the journals are listed, they have to follow certain standards. They have to go through the recommendation of some of the IQACs of the high level universities and the research organization. Only then the UGC listed the journals in their UGC care. So this is another method to, sorting out the good journals from the bad journals. This list is available here. You can go get registered and download the list, and you can check the quality of journals as well. Now, another question is who publish in these journals? Because, this is damage to the academic reputations. The researchers who unknowingly publish in predatory journals can face reputable damages. The association with the low quality or reputable, disreputable publications can raise doubts about the rigor and the credibility of their research work as well, potential impacting their careers and the future opportunities also. So who published? Actually, only it was seen that early career researchers who cannot differentiate between a legitimate and predatory journal they publish because of the lack of awareness. Some inexperienced researchers whose work has been rejected by the reputable journal and they are hurry in publishing, they used to, trapped by these journals because here you have to give some money and your paper will be published as quick as possible as you want. Sometimes just for increasing the number of publication, you are trapped in this, this form, and they publish in a very short span of time your paper that will add some quantity in the list rather than the quality. Then the publish or perish syndrome. As of now, everyone has been realizing that how is it important to publish to survive in a system. There is a target given to each and every researcher that you have to publish 2 papers or 3 papers. In some of the universities I have gone through and I found that there is a teaching track, there is a research track, and there is a hybrid track. So if you are in teaching track, you have to teach certain credits in 1 week. But if you are choosing for the research track, you have to publish 2 or 3 papers in the Scopus. So the target is very well defined there. You have to publish 2 Scopus papers. You have to publish 1 with high impact factor, so on and so forth. But if you choose the teaching track and the research track both, then you have to publish 1 paper with some credit of teaching. So, and also this is the integral part of your PWAS system as well. That those we have also been realizing in practical. So either you have to publish or you will perish. This is the biggest problem, and that syndrome that prompts you to publish in high quantity, if not quality is not maintained. Then promotion and grants are linked to number of publication. We have been realizing that when we send a research proposal, the research proposal is first, evaluated on the basis of the paper published in that particular field. So this is another syndrome that prompts you to publish a paper, and in the process you are trapped in that web of these preliminary journals. So some pseudo researchers who want to advocate their research findings, they publish. Low acceptance rate of some of the core journals that prompt you to publish in these literary journals, and fierce competition compel researchers to publish in the creative form. So all these points are well known to us. We have experienced it, but even then there is no excuse. We have to try to abstain ourselves in publishing in these literary journals, and because we compromise with our reputation, we compromise with the reputation of the organization as well, and it leads to reduce the chances of future growth as well. There's some of the deleterious effect of the predatory publishing. It enhances misconduct in research. Researchers may fabricate, falsify data, plagiarize content, publish the same in the predatory journals, because there is no peer review process, no check, no standard, so you will be able to publish it. But once it is published, it is in public domain, it will be caught, because nowadays in the era of the online system, there are several tools. Somebody will catch you for plagiarism. Somebody will catch you for copying. Somebody will catch you for, even if you generate a text from the AI, it will also be, identified. So it would damage your reputation, the reputation of your organization as well. The fraudulent research and enormous findings get into publishing literature and circulation. This is another biggest deleterious effect of the predatory publishing, because of the lack of the peer review process. Any fraudulent publication with falsified data, the fabricated data, can be published, and it will get unnoticed at the time of circulation, at the time of publishing, but at the time of the circulation, in most of the cases, you will be the author will be trapped. And there are certain case studies. I have gone through around 20 case studies wherein the high-level researchers, those who have got the awards for their research, on the later stage, they have to retract the publication and they have to return the awards as well, and that their reputation is badly damaged. And enormous amount of the funding money is also wasted when you are trapped in the predatory publishing, because even the organization, they support you for the publishing, for financial support for the publishing. In some of the cases, the project funds can also be utilized for publishing a good research paper. So if you are trapped and there is no guideline wherein you can publish, you have to, utilize the fund available for publishing the paper. And if you are publishing it to bad journals, you are wasting the money. And it leads to you lost the trust of the public in the research, and the science is also wasted, which is the very great loss, societal loss, and the nation loss as well. So the checkpoints for identifying the predatory journals, I am again and again, emphasizing on few things to check the quality parameters, because there is no list available. The only thing which you can protect yourself from publishing is some guidelines, criteria, and standards. So when you are going to publish, you have to check, is the journal or publisher well known or not? Is it indexed in the bibliographic and citation databases or not, authentic databases? Does it have a properly designed, designated and designed and maintained the website? Say, for example, the name of the website should not be misleading. The scope should be well defined. The layout of the website is catchy. Language and grammar is correct. Instruction for the author is well defined and well formatted. There must be a peer review policy. There must be a research data policy. There must be a retraction policy. If this policy is not there, then it means they will take some money from you and they will publish it without any hindrance. Archiving and the preservation policy backup plan must be there. Ownership and management details must be given with relevant addresses, phone numbers, and the website as well. There must be an access model. Say, for example, open access model that I have discussed. Revenue, resource, business models, and authorship fee must be well defined. Policies for deadline with the allegation of the misconduct should be clearly mentioned, because in case of any of the conflict of the interest, or in case of the misconduct, there must be a very code there which should deal with the authors and the person who has given complaint. The complaint has to be properly analyzed, and there must be a mechanism to close the loop. Not only the journals, there are predatory conferences as well. They include names of the prominent faculty members and the scientists to attract more number of participants. In fact, a senior professional may not know that their names are used there. So be very, very, cautious about, attending the conferences, because conference is also a profit-making business nowadays. And they follow the model of predatory publishing as well. So what all checkpoints, what are the criteria, what are the guidelines, what are the unethical practices these journals are following? These unethical practices are also followed by these predatory conferencing as well. The scope of these type of conferences is too broad. Now, think this is one tool. It helps the researchers in identifying the reputed journals of their field. The website provides a checklist which the researchers may use to evaluate and ascertain the credential of a journal or a publisher. So again, you'll get a checklist, you'll not get a list of journals. Now here I would like to mention one more thing. The first, Jeffrey Bell has come up with a blacklist wherein he had mentioned few hundred journals as a predatory journals. Then after the pressure of the market, after pressure of the different business houses and publisher houses, he also published a whitelist wherein he has given the list of journals which are good journals. So he has a blacklist for predatory journals and one whitelist for the good journals. Later on, he has taken the all black and white list from the net. You will not get any black list or any white list or the bell list, because it was said that you cannot use the word black list or white list because this, gives as a racist comment as well. So some of the NGOs has raised litigation on him, and later on he has taken the black and white list from the internet. There's no list available nowadays, but when you check, you will find some of the standards and the checklists for which you can evaluate a journal. So this is something about the predatory journals so far. Now, the next important thing is how to find a good journal. And because if there is a predatory journal, there are a good journal as well. So how to find a good journal or a right journal for your publication? This section, I have divided the whole talk into part. In first part, we will try to find out a journal which is authentic. And in the second part, we will discuss some of the tools, journal finder tools, which would help you to find out the journal for a specific publication. Say, for example, a specific publication in a specific field. So let us move ahead. Let us try to understand this process as well. So already discussed many more times, again, to sensitize you. So first and foremost and most important thing to find out a good journal is its indexing with some of the databases. So these are the few databases that I have mentioned. There may be more. So for the first one is the PubMed. This is a free database of the biomedical and life science research articles maintained by the National Library of the Medicines. These databases may be well known to those who have been regularly publishing, but those who are new in research, those who are the young researchers, and those who have not yet started publishing, but because of the peer pressure, the pressure of the institution, the requirement of the EVA system, they are now started thinking of publishing something, because now the life is the target based, and everything is governed by some targets, some goals. And if you are not able to achieve those goals, you will perish in life, in your professional life. So you can understand what I wanted to communicate to you. So those who are young researcher, budding researcher, or the researcher, those who are started now publishing, they must have an insight on all these databases. So PubMed, a free database for the biomedical journals and the life science research articles maintained by the National Library of the Medicine. Then there is a journal storage. JStorage is an online database that provides access to thousands of the academic journals, book, primary sources in art, humanities, and social sciences. So these databases is not only for the science, medical, and the physical science. This is also, cater the art, humanities, and social sciences publication as well. And Scopus is a multidisciplinary database that covers research articles, conferences, paper, and this is the only database which covers the conferences, papers as well. And other publication in science, technology, medicine, social science, art, humanities, law. I have got more than 200 journals, which was indexed with the Scopus for hospitality, tourism, and almost all fields the journals are there. And the thousands of journals are listed with the Scopus. We have shared the list of Scopus journal with you all. Just to remind you here, if you have not gone through it, you can request us to share it once again. And the Web of Science is very well-known database, a citation database that provides access to researchers, research articles, conferences, proceedings, and other academic publications in science, social science, art, and humanities as well. I am emphasizing art and humanities because it is said, and I have gone through this general perception that art and humanities database is not very well understood, that this is not maintained. It is not so. Just you search full dignity and honesty, you'll get the details available on the Scopus and Web of Sciences as well. And the Google Scholar is very well known to all of us, a free search engine that provides access to academic publications, including articles, thesis, and book. The Google Scholar is a platform wherein recently we have requested all the faculty members of our organization to register so that H indexing can also be checked. Then ProQuest, a database that provides access to a wide range of academic content, including articles, book, dissertation, thesis across various disciplines. So these are the few databases. They have some standards. They have developed some criteria. They have developed some, parameters for quality maintained. And based on these parameters, they evaluate the journals, and only after proper evaluation, they index the journal with their databases. So the journals which are indexed with these databases, they have some standards, at least. Then we have already discussed details about this international scholarly organization. They may not be knowing, you may not be knowing all these organizations, but on after my lectures, you may note it down and you go through this and you'll get the details. The COPE, the Committee of Publication Ethics that we have discussed, this is another one very important scholarly organization. And WAM, the World Association of Medical Editors, and Directory of Open Access Journals. In addition to that, OSPA, the Open Access Scholarly Publishing Association, is there, is working to stop obligatory publishing and promote verbal publishing. Then International Committee for Medical Journals. Then European Association for Science Editors, and there is the CAPEL blacklist now. There's no blacklist, I tell you, there's no whitelist as well. Now you will get some predatory reports, which is based on some checklist. So all these organizations, they are working hard to stop all the malpractices, all the misconduct, all the ethical, unethical practices in publishing by, improving upon the quality parameters, by issuing the guidelines, by issuing the checklist, and by promoting the journals to get index with them and follow their guidelines so that they can do justice with the science at the international level. So by using these two parameters, academic databases and indexing indexing with this international scholarly organization, you can make out the quality of a journal. So the details given here would help you to identify the good journal, and you can, make out the difference from a good journal and bad journal. Now, another question is how to find out a journal which is, suitable for publishing a particular manuscript. In this section, I will take up because most of the time I have received a query from various colleagues that, sir, how to find out a journal in which I publish a paper. Usually the legal studies people, they used to come to me and they ask to, suggest one journal wherein they can publish a research paper based on a particular criminal studies or particular litigation studies. Even some of my colleagues, those who are working with Hospitality Institute, they came to me to find out the journal where they can publish the study on travel and tourism. So how to find out the right journal? Because finding out the right journal is the first and foremost and most important step to avoid to curb all these unethical practices in malpractice. So again, there is no list available. I tell you, only the databases are available. Indexing with the databases are available, and you have to ask some of the questions from yourself before you submit the manuscript to the paper. Say, for example, is the manuscript right fit for the journal? So if you are choosing a journal, just go through the scope of the journal, and if you found that your manuscript is right fit for the journal, you can go ahead. Are there any funder or institution mandate to consider? So sometimes, even if the journal is open access, they ask for some PPC charges. So you must look whether how you support the funding. Is there any funder, or if it is within the mandate of the institute wherein the financial support can be given or not? Is the journal visible in the community you want to reach? Just just contact your peer group and found out whether the journal is well popular or not. If it is not, then you can further search and make out the quality of the journal through the website and other things. So this gives you some idea about the quality of the journal. Is there a reasonable chances of acceptance? So with your friends and colleagues, those who have published in that journal, they will give you some idea about the chances of acceptance. Is the journal indexed in all the relevant databases or not? That is a very, very important criteria. What do the journal matrices reveals? So whether the matrices follows the standard matrices and they are follow the fake matrices, as I have already discussed while discussing the predatory publishing. Is the journal reputable, including practicing robust peer review process or not, which is the most important thing for defining the quality of a journal. So these are a few questions that you have to ask from yourself, and you have to evaluate the journal by asking these questions with your peer group, with your friends, colleagues, and you can search the internet, find out the suitability of journal for your work. Now start the search by consulting your network is another step wherein after that you can ask the colleagues and the peer group for the recommendation whether this journal is a suitable journal for publication or not. You can also gain insight from your supervisor, mentor, and the authors who read. They will also suggest the good journals for publishing your manuscript. You can also go consultant with a librarian. In the Lucknow itself, there are several libraries, standard libraries are there, wherein you can discuss with the librarian, with the person, those who are publishing regularly on that journal. So by asking some question, and then the second phase, by consulting your colleagues, your peer group, your supervisor, or your mentor, and the other authors will give you some idea about the suitability of the journal. The next step after this, after gaining some insight, look at where the articles you have cited were published. So you can continue with online search for the scholarly resources. You can look at the articles you have cited were published. You can note the journals referenced in the bibliography of the key papers in your field. This is something which is very, very easy. Just go the back references, bibliography, and see where the particular article or the article of a particular field is published most. And you can select those journals and you can further evaluate those journals on the different standards and criteria and make out the list of a journal which is suitable for publication of your manuscript. You can search for the author in this field. Say, for example, Dr. Manish is working in my field in transgenics. So, and I wanted to publish a paper which is matching with his research topic as well. So what the best thing is to search the paper where research papers and the bibliography wherein he has published the papers, and find out the journals and shorten the list of journals in which you can publish. So these are the various methods through which you can narrow down your the list of journals, and this will help you to identify the right journal. Now, when you search for a journal, you will want to consider these different parameters. We'll discuss it in the next slide. Nowadays, rather than doing all these things which we have discussed, you can also go through some of the journal finders which are available freely online. Say for Elsevier Journal Finder is available. There is a Springer Nature Journal Finder Suggester is available. Then Valley Journal Finder is available, wherein you can either give the commands. You can paste your title of your journals, or you can paste the abstract of your manuscript to find out the journals. Now let us go ahead, get some of the ideas about this journal finder. So there is one important journal finder that I found is most efficient is the Elsevier Journal Finder. So Elsevier's Journal Finder tools allow you to enter your abstract or the keywords and provide a list of recommended journals based on the content of your article within the Elsevier book. So you can provide the title of your manuscript, or you can provide the abstract of your manuscript in the journal finders link, and they will suggest you the list of journal where you can publish. So this is the best way of finding out the good journals for a specific purpose. Then Springer Journal Suggester is there, which is another important online tool. The Springer's Journal Suggester help you find relevant journals by entering your abstract or article title. Again, paste the abstract and the article title to the given field, and they will suggest, the journal will suggest within the Springer journals the best, closely matched for your research work. Then for engineering studies, IEEE Publication Recommender is there. IEEE provides a publication tool that assists in finding the suitable IEEE journal and conferences for your research work. So you can get the journals as well as the conferences as well. Herein again, you can paste the abstract or the title in a respective field, and you can search and you can get the recommendation from there. Then another important journal author name estimator, the free online tool developed by the National Center for Biotechnology Information. So for biotechnology studies, life sciences studies, this is the best tool wherein you can do matching or journal comparison by just putting up the title or the abstract in the given field, and you can find a journal, you can find an author, you can find the titles. So all the studies can be done by, searching can be done through these tools. And it uses advanced algorithm and compare your article titles, abstract with its vast database to suggest relevant journals and authors. And Scopus Journal Analyzer, which is, extensively used by us. Scopus is a comprehensive abstract and citation database that that is well known to us. It also offers the journal analyzer tools that helps the researchers find journals suitable for their research. By entering keywords or a specific title, you can generate a list of the relevant journals within the Scopus listed journals. So saying so that you are not able to find out the journals of your interest is, just give you this mindset. There are several tools wherein you can just put up your abstract and you can get the good journals list for the publication. Now here, one thing we must realize that all these journal finder tools, remember that these tools provide suggestions based on automated algorithm. It is always advisable to conduct further research and review the scope, target, audience, reputations of the recommended journals. So here I would like to first again reiterate that you can use the journal finder tools. You can narrow down the list of the journals, and after that you evaluate the journals on the various standards, various checklists. And also you have to discuss with your peer group, your supervisor, your mentor, and the other authors to further narrow down, the list and proper suitability and selection of the journal wherein you can publish your article, which will give you not only the visibility, but also the reputation in coming days. So these tools must be used. I have find out these tools on the net and then from the different sources, and I thought I must share with you so that you can get maximum benefit out of it. So these are the few references from where I have collected the details. Now, another thing which here I would like to share with you that to protect against predatory publishing, researchers are encouraged to exercise due diligence and carefully evaluate the publishing opportunities. Some of the strategies to avoid the predatory publishing that we have mentioned, these strategies must be, followed by our young researchers. Say, for example, familiarize yourself with the reputable publishing practices, standards, and guidelines. To go through Hope, WAM, and other checklists and familiarize yourself with all these practices. Conduct thorough research on publishers and journals before submitting your work by using different journal finders with your peer group discussions. You can do this thing. Look for the information on peer review processes as well. Editorial board activities you must check, and indexing databases and the reputation of the journal would help you publish in a right place. Verify the legitimacy of journal by checking the reputable indexing databases like Web of Sciences and Scopus. And I have also mentioned several indexing journals. Be careful of solicited mail or the invitation to submit the manuscript. Don't, get into trap of this very lucrative emails, and don't respond to those emails. Otherwise, you would be in a trap of, profit-making nexus. See advice from the experienced colleagues. This is very, very important. That is why the seniority should be, respected. So take advice from your colleagues, those who are regularly publishing, and they have those who have the proven track record. Your mentors, your institutional librarians, they all are very, very important for you. Consult resources that provide list of known predatory publishers. Though there is no list available, I tell you, whenever you will click on any list, you will get some guidelines. And although there is no list mentioned by any of this thing, because it is again a very controversial issue. Consider open access publishing option offered by established and reputed publishers. So all those open access publishers are not good. As I mentioned, that some of the models of the open access publishing is manipulated to profit making, and this manipulation is visible to us in the form of this monster, the predatory journals. Promoting awareness about the predatory publishing and encouraging possible publishing practices are vital for maintaining the integrity and credibility of the scholarly publishing. So with this thing, I am open for the discussion. I can see 143 participants here. This topic was, not a very lengthy topic, lengthy discussion topic. I have tried to, expose you with all the standards, all the ethical practices, all the databases, the scholarly organizations, how to find out a journal, how to find out a journal which is suited to your manuscript, how to differentiate between a journal, predatory journals, or a good journal. With this thing, I stop here and I am open for any discussion now.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your such enlightening talk, and you have explained things very clearly now. And so now I would request Professor Mala to please proceed with the session and question answer session, please.
Thank you, Dr. Dwivedi. I can see a few questions. I'm starting with the question by Dr. Prachi Srivastava. She's asking, sir, APC is also a practice of journal of high repute, even Nature, Science, etc. What about their aspects? What about SFIF status? I don't know what is SFIF status.
Now, I can give you a very general answer of this question, because APC charges are important, because journal has to, support their publishing facilities by raising funds. So for raising funds, there are 2-3 models have been adopted. The first model is the APC charges from the author, or funds are generated through subscription model, or sometimes some of the journals, they neither charge the EPC charges nor the subscription model, but they adopt another model wherein they get the sponsorship from various companies. Say, for example, you are allowed to publish your posts on Google, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on any of the social media. They charge you nothing, but they have a different model. They charge from someone else through the sponsorship. So APC charges are invited. Now here in publishing, as I mentioned, I have emphasized, and sometimes I overemphasize as well, on the peer review process. There must be a strict peer review process in place. Then I have also emphasized, I would say again, the overemphasized on the standards, the criteria, the guidelines that have been followed by various scholarly organizations or journals and their indexing. So before making the publication charges may not be a simple criteria through which you can say that this journal is good or bad. This is important. But in addition to that, there must be a peer review process. There must be a proper quality parameter that has to be followed. There must be a proper indexing with the standard databases. And those databases or journal has to follow the guidelines, the standards issued, established by the Pope, FOM, and various scholarly organizations. I hope I'm clear in my statements.
Thank you so much. The next question is from Dr. Parul Johri. She's asking if my paper is published in a journal, which is SCI, and have impact factor of 4 in year 2022, and later in 2023, it is discontinued in SCI, or the impact factor has been withdrawn. Will my paper still counted as SCI paper? Can I still say that my paper was published in a journal with high impact?
As I understand that if I publish a paper in 2006 in Plant Cell Report, and by that time, the impact factor of that particular journal and that particular issue was 3.6 around. But now the impact factor of that journal or the recent article is above 6. So I cannot say that my article, which was published in 2006, has the impact factor of 6. So that way you can understand if the paper is published and that time the impact factor was 6.4, and the journal was indexed with some indexing agencies. Later on, it was discontinued. It doesn't mean that you have lost the credibility by the time you have published the paper in that journal.
Okay, thank you. Now, next question is from Dr. Geeta Singh. She's asking that how and where to find out true Thomson-Reuters impact factor of the journal.
Very easy. We can share the list. Dr. Manish has generated a list 2-3 days ago and shared it with me. It is available on General Citation Report, JCR. You can search it and you can download the list for 2023. I'm right, Dr. Manish? The list is available there.
It's available there on the site. They would have updated. They have updated like till 2022.
They have updated the 2022 the impact factor.
Yes.
In JCR. You can download it, and if not, you can consult any of us. We will provide you the list.
Mostly JCR update their list time to time, like every 2 years.
So you can download the JCR General Citation Report, wherein the list is available for year 2022.
Yeah.
Next question is from Dr. Manisha Singh. She is asking if the name of same journal is mentioned at several places, how we can differentiate it from predatory or reputed journal?
The same journal, I would say there must be there. If you read carefully, you will find there is some twisting in spelling. There's some twisting in the word. There must be something different from there, but it may imitate the reputed journal, so that just to learn the authors. So exactly same name must not be there. Otherwise, it would be issue of the copyright infringement. They just twist the name a little bit so that it seems that this is the reputed journal, but when you read the spelling, when you read the whole content, you find it, this is something different. But you have to check it very carefully.
Okay. Another question is asked by Dr. Surya Mani Pandey. He is asking which precautions may be taken in mind while patent filing through patent agents.
Okay, so this is not within the scope of this lecture, but I will definitely reply. So by filing a patent, you have to follow 3 steps. First step is novelty. So you have to check the novelty of your invention. If it is novel and it is different from already existing process and product, then you will set aside first criteria. Then the second criteria is there should be no prior art available in the field. It means there should be no evidence which can connect you with the novelty of your product and processes that you have been going to file. And the third one important criteria is the commercialization. It has to have some value, commercial value. So if your invention, if your product or your the processes is following these 3 criteria, then you can go ahead for patenting. Discoveries cannot be patented. Innovations cannot be patented. Only the invention can be patented. And those inventions which has some novelty, which has some commercial values, and which has no prior art available in the literature.
I hope that things are clear to you, Dr. Pandey. Next question is from Dr. Pankaj Goswami. He is asking, sir, is there any portal which helps to the scholar while summarizing information about indexing, APC required time for publication? This would be great help.
For APC charges, the APC charges of different journals is different. So you have to check the website of the journal, author instructions to the journal, which is available online. Everything is available online. So when you check the website of the journal, you will get a fair, clear, transparent information about the editorial board, the reviewer boards, the APC charges, the fee, the retraction policy, the author's instructions about the management of the journals. So all these things, indexing details, impact factor details, everything you will get in the website of a particular journal. And these are the very specific information which is related to that particular journal. So there is no website available, authentic website available through which you can get the details for all the journals, but I would suggest you to go to the specific journal and get the details from the website.
I think Garima ma'am has satisfied with the previous answer, because she was asking many times the fake journal is with similar name and ISSN number. So how can we identify them?
ISSN number cannot be same, name cannot be exactly same, I tell you. Check it, you will find some, variation into it.
Another question is from Dr. Rachna Chaturvedi. She's asking how we can find a free Scopus indexed open access journals. And if we if we have to APC charge, what are the funding opportunities?
Now, for getting a journal where there is no APC charge, you have to search the website of the journals. So for Scopus, I would suggest go to the Scopus site, check the sources, put up your, the manuscript or the title of your manuscript, and it will suggest you some of the important journals wherein you can publish. Now you have to go to the journal's web page, wherein you can check whether the APC charges are applicable or not. or they are following the business model of, subscription model or the sponsorship model or the EPC charges. Everything should be available, must be available on the journal's website. So you can get the information from there. And for the Scopus index journals, everything is absolutely transparent. Whatever given on the website is, applicable to the journals. Because before indexing with the Scopus or any of the Web of Sciences or any of the standard indexing agencies, they do a lot of, evaluation, and the process of evaluation very stringent.
Dr. Suryamani Pandey is saying that his queries is still same, and regarding patent, he is asking that although precautions which may be taken in mind while filing patent through patent agent is still remaining. He is not very clear how to file patent.
So filing a patent, there is a process, as I told you, that what we do, we have we don't follow through the patent agents, but our patent agents is our incubator centers, wherein I just share my experience with you. What we do, we developed some idea and we write a concept note, we submit it to our incubator cell, wherein there are the agents who check the novelty, whether our claim is novel or not, whether the claim of the product and the processes is different from what is already available in prior art. Prior art means it should not be available in literature, I tell you, in a simple word. So if it is not available in literature, it is no visibility, it means your work is novel. And then its commercial value will be checked, whether it can be commercialized or not, because every information cannot be patented. Information, every details cannot be patented. The product and process that has some novelty and that has some commercial value can only be patented. Once you pass on all these three criteria, then the patent can be filed through the patent officer or your patent incubator cell to the patent office, Government of India, Indian Patent Office. There is a procedure. Within a year, they will come back to you with their observations. If you are able to, satisfy the queries, the patent will be published for a certain time, maybe for 1 year. And if there is no objection from anyone, then the patents will be granted. So this is the procedure of the filing of a patent. For a layman, I mean, those who are not very technically involved in the patent procedure, as a researcher, you can file the patents by following these simple steps.
So I'm taking next question from Dr. Neelam Bansal. She is asking, how shall we identify clown journal?
I have not gone through. Manish, Dr. Manish, have you seen this clown journals?
Sir, you are mute. Manish, sir, you are mute.
Yeah.
Maybe
Actually,
this is another predatory type of journals.
maybe we need to look for that one. I
Yeah.
think, these journals, I think we should go for those journals which are mostly indexed with the Scopus or Web of Science or something like that. So, that's only credible journals, I think. So nowadays,
Clown
we are,
journals.
so we have to just look into the details of the journals. Then only we can decide whether it's a clown or it's kind of predatory journal.
Now I have searched it and it found another term used for clone journal is the hijack journals. Hijack journals are the fake or duplicate websites of the genuine journals using the title, ISSN number, and other information of the genuine journals. So again, this is a predatory publishing. They claim that they use the same ISSN number, same information with some twisting. And they hijack the already existing the setup of a journal to market their product.
Maybe look
Another
maybe we
unethical
can
and
find
misconduct practices.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
So this is my explanation here. The clown journals are also, a kind of fake journals. they use the ISS number of already established journal. They use the name of the ISS name of the journals with some twist, changing the spelling. So these are the various terminology used for defining a particular unethical misconduct practices in the publishing.
Dr. Shalini Agrawal is asking, what process should one follow to become journal reviewer or editor?
For journal reviewer and editor, you have to have a proven track record in this field. So if you are regularly publishing and you are publishing in a good journal, they will, the journal editorial board will approach you straight away without, direct intervention of yours. So this is the standard method. Otherwise, also you can publish and you can write the editorial board, and you show your interest. And if they found your candidature suitable, they can induct you in your reviewer board. What I have realized that whenever I publish a good paper with Scopus Journal or with good impact factor, I keep on receiving n number of reviewer assignments, invites immediately after that. So it means that if you publish in a good journal, good work, you will get recognition for it, and you will be contacted for to take a part as a reviewer in their publishing process.
I think I just want to add one thing here. Sometimes the journal also open their call to be a part of their editorial board or reviewer board, so they can the scientist or any researcher can directly apply to the journal, and then journal will review their CV and publication profile and everything, and then they can revert back to them. Right. So that would be also the way.
So the most important part is you have to be a proven track record. Only then you would get the recognition for either you can apply it or they will approach you both ways. You can be a reviewer.
The next question is from Dr. Prachi Srivastava. She's asking, what is the status of preprint? Those are Scopus indexes.
Now, preprint is another best practices which has been following, wherein you can post your data, you can upload your data on preprint portals. They also generate UI for it, and you can get a lead in your work, and without publishing your work is visible to your peer group, wherein they can suggest you, and they can make make your manuscript more relevant to the peer group. And after some times, when you get the suggestions from everyone, you can develop that preprint into the full manuscript and submit it. So it is kind of peer review process wherein you have nothing to do, but you get some information, some details, some suggestions, some advices from the peer group to make it more perfect and more reliable and more properly can submit in the form of full paper. But you will be acknowledged for that thing, and the work will be by your name. No one can the work cannot be stolen.
And it can also be cited because DOI is.
And it can also be cited, yes, because the DOI will be generated.
Yes, that's a good thing with that preprint.
So nowadays, this practice is being followed by most of the good researchers as well.
I can see a few more questions. The first I would like to take from Dr. Pooja Singh. She's asking, for instance, I sent a paper to UGC Care Index Journal. It took around 6 months to get the paper published. Meanwhile, the journal got delisted from the UGC Care list. What should I do in such case? Will my paper be considered as published in UGC Care Journal?
See, I give you an example of our system. So when there is the mandatory requirement of publishing a paper in the Scopus Index Journal for submission of the thesis. So any student would be eligible for the submission of thesis if he or she publish a paper in the Scopus Index Journals. But sometimes we have gone through such a critical situation that the student has published a paper. If, for example, he published a paper in Scopus Index Journal in month of January, and his thesis is ready to be submitted in month of May. By the time the Scopus has delisted the journal from their list. Now, as per the policy of our university, we do not consider that journal. Whether the policy is, right or wrong, I would not comment, but the policy is in place, which says that at the time of submission, the journal should be in the Scopus Index list. So now you understand this thing. You just go through the policies of your university or the institutions, and that will give you a fair idea about it.
Next question is from Dr. Aditi Singh. She's asking how to find out quartiles of a journal that like Q1, Q2, etc.
These are available on Scopus, I think. When you check it, you'll get it there. So which quartile the journal is, it belongs to.
So I think that this was the last question that I can see. If audience, if you have any further question, please share.
You may also raise your hand if anyone wants to discuss. Sir, may I ask one
Yeah, please.
thing? So means like you have elaborated the many aspects of predatory journals and various resources by which we can basically identify whether they are predatory or we can go ahead with that. So did you find any regulatory body who would be governing all such things, or maybe can take action against such things, or it's just solely responsibility of the corresponding author or authors? You can.
Dr. Manish, as I mentioned that I have extensively searched and researched on this topic in last 10 days. And one of the speaker of this conference has also mentioned that the Bell's list is the blacklist. This is the list of the journals. And when I searched the Bell's list, I didn't find any Bell's list there. So I again searched and found that the list was published by Jeffrey Well in 2010, wherein the blacklist of the journal, which contains the list of the predatory journals. He was pressurized by his peer group and by the society as well. So he came up with one more list known as white list. So there was a blacklist and there was a white list. Now another NGO came up, because in our democratic system, everyone has some rights, some fundamental rights, or the rights given by the Constitution. So one NGO came up with complaint that how can you publish a list by the name of black and white? This is a racist, because this belongs to the skin color of some people.
Yes, right.
So finally, he has taken the black list and white list completely from his web page. There is no blacklist, there is no white list, but there is a predatory report available, which again suggests you some of the quality parameters, criteria, and the checklist. So far I got the checklist of various scholarly organizations, which says that the journal is good. If this checklist is not followed, it means the journal is not up to the mark. Nobody says that this journal is predatory or this is a bad journal. So this is the thing which is related to what I can say. This is related to your morals, ethics, and professional standards. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think I have justified my presence on this platform for the last 1.5 hours. I have tried to answer all the questions based on my understanding of this topic and my experience, vast experience in this field, teaching and research. If you have any gap of understanding, you can contact me straight away. I will be happy to help you out to further streamline the process of identification of the good journal from the bad journal, from the predatory journals to the index journals. Thank you very much for your patience throughout.
So, okay.
And I also congratulate the organizers, because this is the FDP, which was based on the very small things. And I tell you, these small things are too big to understand because we do very great research. We are, in a system wherein we can generate lots and lots of data, but we are not still aware that how to, channelize this data in an ethical manner so that you are not trapped in any of the malpractices or the misconduct. So this session was designed, and other sessions were also very informative for particularly those who are entering into the field and those who have a long career. So you must go through this ethical standards, publication research and publication ethics, and that would be helpful you in your future endeavor as well. Thank you very much and wish you all the best.
Thank you,
We are
sir.
available through.
So I would like to conclude this session. Now, firstly, I would like to say thanks to our speaker for sharing his knowledge and shedding light on this very important subject matter, that is predatory publishing. The presentation was thought-provoking, engaging, and meticulously crafted, leaving us with a profound understanding on the significance of predatory publishing in research. Your deep understanding and ability to articulate the topic in a comprehensive manner have truly captivated our audience as well as us. We have had a privilege of gaining valuable insight into the crucial aspect of scientific and academic integrity. So thank you for your expertise and wisdom. Here, I would like to inform all the participants that tomorrow we have valedictory session, and after scheduled talk of Dr. J.K. Srivastava, Director AIB and Deputy Dean Research, Science and Technology, link for feedback and assessment will be shared with you, and you are requested to timely complete both feedback as well as assessment. Your certificates will be mailed as early as possible. Besides that, both these things, that is feedback as well as assessment, is mandatory for getting certificate. Besides that, organizing team would also like to inform that attendance will also be monitored, as this is one of the criteria for receiving certificate. So hope to see you soon, and I request you to join the same link from where you are joining till date. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.